of the Ultimate InDesign Beginner to Advanced course. In this lesson, we'll be looking at how to work with the shape tool, and we've tackled most of it when we're doing tools that are used in Adobe InDesign. So let's go ahead and create a new document, and let's use A4, and let's make sure that we make it landscape. Okay, right now my units are in pixels. Okay, so let's go ahead and click OK. So now let me change my units back to inches. Okay, so you click on the corner over here and then change it back to inches. Now with the shape tool, we have the rectangular shape tool, which is this one, and we also have the the rectangular frame tool. So this is the rectangular frame tool, and you have the rectangular tool, which is the shape tool. So there are other tools that are beneath it. So when you right click it, you see other tools that are beneath it. We have the ellipse frame tool and we have the polygon frame tool. So the frame tools are mostly add images to it. Okay, so that's how you see the cross signs over there is used to embed images or add images to them. So with this tool is rather the shape tools. Okay, but they are all shape tools, but these are mostly used for drawing shapes, and these are frame tools for adding images. Okay, so let's go ahead and to draw a rectangle, you just right click and then drag here like this to draw a rectangle. Okay, or you can just right click on an empty space, just right click, and you can add in your sizes. Okay, so let's say I want to make it 180 pixels or 240 pixels by 240 pixels. You see that now the units are in inches. So it doesn't matter if you type in pixels. Okay, it will still show or give you the size of the shape in inches. So let's say 240 pixels. Okay, so it has divided for us, or it has made it into inches for us. So let's make another 240 pixels. So it will automatically change it into inches for us. Okay, that's when it does the math for us. So we won't do any math and it will do it for us. Okay, so then we have drawn a shape. So now let's come and click on the selection tool. Now to select a shape that has, let's add fill to this. Okay, all we have to do is Shift X, then the fill moves from the stroke to the shape itself. So now to select a rectangle or any shape tool, what you have to do is, if it has a fill, then select from the fill. Okay, can select from the fill. But if it has no fill, then you have to select from the shape itself. Okay, the borders of the shape or the frame of the shape, you have to select from it. But if there's a fill, just select any place. Okay, now one thing that we also have to look at is when we want to, let's say, make the corners of the shape round, we have to click on the yellow thing that we see over here, the yellow rectangle over here. We click on the yellow rectangle over here and drag it. So when I click on it, then you come on top over here at the corners and then drag it to make what you call the rounded shape. Or you can just come here and click on it and just hold shift to only make one part round. Okay, then drag it. So you see that only this part has become round. So you just select it, click on it, and then hold right click and drag it. Okay, in order to make the rounded thing. So click on it, hold shift and click on it and drag. and it makes it run for us. So now let's go ahead and look at what else you can do with the shape tool. Okay, now one thing is, when we want to maybe create a circle, when we want to create a circle, we just choose the ellipse tool over here, right click at the rectangular tool and choose the ellipse tool. And when you want to draw a perfect circle, you have to hold shift and draw in order to create a perfect circle. And when you want to make sure that the circle is centered, okay, is centered, or you want to make sure that you draw a perfect circle and also it is centered at one place. So from the place that you see the sign over here, I want to center the circle over here. I'll just hold Alt and just drag it, and you see that it is centered on where I started the circle from. And now when I want to draw a perfect circle and centered at where my mouse shows, I'll just hold Shift and Alt and it draws a perfect circle at where my mouse shows. Okay, so it draws a perfect circle for us, and make sure to release all at the same time, because when you don't release it very well, it distorts the circle. So let's hold it again. Right, let's release the mouse, and then that's also, you release the mouse, and you after that you release the Shift and Alt. Now we also have the align panel that we have to use it when we want to align our shapes and other things. Okay, so now let's go to Windows, come to what we call the objects and layout, and click on the align. Okay, so now we have the align here. Now when we want to align this shape, you come to the selection tool and select the shapes, and then we can decide to align all the left, okay, align at the center, or align horizontal center. Okay, so you can play around with it. You can decide to distribute it. Okay, you have the distribution objects, or we can decide to align vertical centers. You can also decide to align the top edges or align the down edges. So that's the align and to, or the align window. You also have the pathfinder, which we will be dealing with it in no moment from now. So let's go ahead and reduce the size, and let's drag it somewhere here. Okay, so we went to Windows and we just went to Objects and Layout and clicked on the align. So now what else can we do with the shape tool? Let's go ahead, go to pages and add new page. Okay, yeah, so we've added a new page. Now let's look at what else we can do with the shape tool. Okay, now how can we let's say we want to draw a polygon tool, can just come and just draw the polygon. But what if you don't want this size, or we don't want this amount of sides? Okay, we want more or we want less. So what you have to do is just come and click on an empty space just once, and then we can decide that maybe we want 3 sides, which will become what, a triangle. Okay, we can decide that. Okay, so that's one thing to do with the polygon tool. The same applies to the polygon frame tool. You can do same with it. Now what if you want to repeat shapes? Now if you want to repeat shapes, let's say I have a line tool over here, and I'll draw a perfect line, straight line. When I hold shift, then you just try to draw a perfect or straight line. So now to repeat this line with the line selector, what I'll do is I'll just go to edit, and I'll go to step and repeat. Okay, now step and repeat, you can enable preview or disable the preview. So I can decide that I want it to be aligned horizontal, okay, or aligned vertical. So now I want it to be aligned vertical. So what I'll do is I'll just make the horizontal 0. Okay, so you make the horizontal 0 and align vertical. You can decide on the amount of what you call the space that you want between them, or you can create it as a grid. Okay, so maybe I want, let's say, 40 repeat. Instead of making it copy, I'll just come and use the edit and step and repeat to repeat it. Okay, so now you can see I've been able to repeat it. So same applies to if I want to repeat any shape. I'll come and draw the shape, then I'll go to edit and I'll repeat, edit, and I'll go to steps and repeat it over there. Okay, so that's one thing, how to repeat shapes. Now let's look at how we can use the pathfinder tool. So we have the pathfinder over here, we have a line here, and this is the pathfinder. Okay, so now with the pathfinder, let's get rid of this, select it and click on backspace or delete. Now let's bring in any shape. First of all, let me bring an ellipse to a circle. Okay, now with it selected, we have the pathfinder tool. Convert shapes allows us to convert shapes. Okay, convert shapes to any other shape. So we have a circle here. With this, you can convert it into a rectangle. You can convert it into any shape when we use the convert shape over here. Okay, so that's one thing with the convert shape. Or let's see, now we have a rectangle. Okay, we can come to the here, the panel over here, and we can change the corners. Okay, or the size of the shape, so we can change it into anyhow we want it when we use the panel from over here. And we can also invert round, fancy, or we can come and convert the shapes and other things. We can also add our own things to it. Okay, so that's one way. Also, we have the add or combine selected objects into one shape. That's the main pathfinder tool. This is also used for paths. Okay, this is also used for paths. So paths is the ones that we draw with our pencils. Okay, you can use this for the pencil or the paths that we draw. So that's where we use these things. Okay, use these to maybe bring some changes to the paths that we made. Okay, so that's the for the path. But what we want to focus on is the pathfinder tool by here. So now let's go ahead and remove everything, and let's draw a shape over here. Draw a rectangular shape, and let's fill it. Shift X. So then let's go ahead and double click here and choose a color for it. Let's go ahead and also bring in an ellipse tool and draw a shape over here. Okay, now let's select it and make it something like this, and let's also fill it. Sorry, select it and come to the fill, and you can also add a color to it. Okay, so now we have a fill. So now one thing what we want to look at is we want to look at the pathfinder to what that this does. So this adds or combine shapes for us. When I click with them selected, you just click here, it will add it. So it adds the top to the down. Okay, as the top. So that's why after adding, you've seen that the top shape over here, which is this one, it went straight to this and also picked. So the rectangle over here pick the shape of the ellipse tool over here. Okay, so that's what it also does. Now let's go ahead and let's click on Alt and to repeat it, under Alt to repeat it over here. And then we drag it over here to repeat it. Let's also do it again. Now, so we've seen what this does. We also have the one which is the subtract. Okay, subtract. So let's go ahead and select this and click on it. So what the subtract does is when maybe you want to have a shape like this, and but you need let's say you want to create a transparency in the middle. This when you can come in, select the shape, and it will subtract from the top what do you call it, top two or the ellipse two over here. So it will subtract from this. Okay, so there will be a gap, then you can see the transparency in it. So let's go ahead and select them and you just click on subtract. Now you can see that this is not like the shape has gone down. No, it is has now become hot transparent. You can see that now when you bring it here, when you bring it over here, you can see that there is now a transparency over here. Okay, so that's one thing. Now let's look at the exclude overlap or the intersect. What does it do? So with intersect, it also, when we click on it, you can see that it intersected, and now we no longer have the or see the rectangle to intercepted, and it joined this, so it intersected the meeting points, okay, or the meeting shapes, place where the shapes meet. So you can see that intersect shape areas. So the areas over here was intercepted, and all these places were ignored. These places that does not join, okay, does not join with each other was ignored. So that's one thing. Okay, so mostly we won't be using it that much. Mostly we won't be using it that much. Okay, so we have this one, two, and select it, and it says exclude overlap, exclude overlapping areas. So it also exclude overlapping areas, the areas that you can see that goes touch each other, the areas that touch each other. So when you bring it here, you can see that this place here and here, here and here, here and here, it touches the other. Okay, so it will exclude the touching places of the shapes. So you select all, and now with this you see that here has become transparent, it has been excluded. Okay, it has become transparent, which means it has been excluded. So that's it. Now you also have the last one, which is subtract the backmost object from the foremost object. So when you select it, and now when you click on it, this is what it also does. So you can be playing around with the Pathfinder tools to know more about it and look at its uses. It helps in drawing what we call logos or design logos and other things. So we should look at it very well. Now let's go ahead and look at how we can also maybe draw or use the Pathfinder tool in drawing. Now let's see, I have my pencil tool here and I want to draw a cloud. Okay, let's go ahead and add a new document or a new page. Okay, so let's bring the page here. Let's make sure to disable facing pages. Oh, but still, let's go ahead and use it. Let's zoom in a little bit in order for us to see what we are doing very well. Now, let's see, I have my pencil tool here and I decide to draw a cloud. So since I can't draw a perfect cloud with my mouse, what I have to do is I have to use the shape together with the pathfinder to draw what we call the clouds. Okay, that's what I have to do in order for me to draw the cloud. So what I'll do is I'll just go and draw or create some ellipse tool, take the ellipse tool and create some circles. Okay, so let's go ahead and use it and see. Now I'll go ahead with this one. I want there to be only a stroke but not a fill. So let's go ahead and draw another one. So let's make it overlap. Let's make it overlap. Let's make them overlap each other. Okay, we want it to be overlapping each other. Let's go ahead and pick the 8 and be drawing more. Okay, so you can follow it as I do it, and you can also do yours. I don't want to be wasting much time with it, but you should just follow and you should also do it. We are trying to draw a cloud. Okay, so now with this I'll just go ahead and also draw a big one in the middle, to touch all of it. Okay, to touch all of it, and we'll use this to draw the clouds. Okay, so now we have it very nice and good. So now let's select all and let's make the fill now and add some stroke to it, black. Okay, so let's make it at least 2. And now with all selected, what we will do is we go to the pathfinder tool and you click on add. So what we do is we will select all the shapes that we created after removing the fill. Select all and then click on add. Okay, so now you can see that we have our clouds over here. So it's looking nice than the one that I used the pencil tool to draw. Okay, now it's looking nicer than the one I used the pencil tool to draw. So that's one way of also using the pathfinder to draw shapes. That's one way of using the pathfinder to draw shapes. Now let's delete it and let's look at how we can also divide rectangle and divide circles and the rest. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at what we can do with it. Now let's go ahead and draw a rectangle using the rectangular tool. Now if I want to divide it, let me go ahead and change the color. Double click over here and change the color to any color you want. Let's say I want to add some stroke to it, black. Okay, so now I've added some stroke to it. Now if I want to cut this stroke or cut this rectangle shape, what I can do is I can go ahead and I will use the scissors tool. So this scissors tool, I'll select the shape and take the scissors tool and I'll come here and I'll click over here and then come and click over here, and now I'll go and take my selection tool, and when I bring it this way, now it has made the cut for me. What if I want to go ahead and make another cut? If I want to make another cut, I have to select all and then go to object, paths, and what I'll do is I'll do what, close the path. Okay, So I'll close the path. So if I close the path now, you've seen that it has joined again. So I can go back and pick my scissors tool, and then click somewhere here and click somewhere here again. Now go back to my selection tool, and now you can see that I've also made another path. So I can just go ahead and close the path, or I can change the colors directly. Okay, so now that's it. What if we are using, we want to also go ahead and cut another thing using the, what we call the pathfinder tools to make a cut. So now let's go ahead and try to create or divide our shapes using the pathfinder over here. So now let's go ahead and draw a perfect circle. When we hold shift and then draw it. Okay, so now let's change the color. Double click over here and then change the color to any color you want. Okay, now let's go ahead and bring in our shape tool and draw a rectangular shape over here. So you can use this, align the green over here to align it, or you just draw it in any way. And then let's go ahead and duplicate it. Right click, copy, let's click paste in place, and click on it again. Then let's rotate it. So as we rotate it, hold shift so that it rotates 45 degrees for us. Okay, so there we go. Now let's select all and then use the pathfinder and just click on subtract. Okay, now so it has subtracted for us. We have the division now. And we can do what we want to do with it. So let's look at how we can have the division. We have it right now, but still it is moving together. Okay, it is moving together. So what we will do is we will just go to object and go to what you call, you can even use the properties over here and just click on release compound path. Okay, or we can go to object, path, and now release compound path. So now it will become different. Okay, as you can see now they are all different, and you can change the color any how you want. Okay, so that's one way of how to divide our shapes using the pathfinder tool, and with that we can divide any shapes that we want to divide. So that's how to use the shape tool. We won't go further to it because we'll be diving into it when we do other things. Okay, so thank you for joining this lesson, and see you in the next lesson. Thank you.